You know, I will tell you that I have never held a golf club in my hand in my entire life, but I know about this thing called a mulligan. And basically, from what I understand, if you screw something up, you get to do it over again. So I hope, Colin and Ned, that you are not having me back here giving me a mulligan. But it is a pleasure to be here with you. And, you know, Phyllis is absolutely right. You know, you always hear people talk about this is the most important election, or this is the most important election. But when you come to understand what the Founding Fathers left us some 239 years ago in this great constitutional republic, this truly is the most important election for the future and the legacy, for what we pass on to the children and grandchildren that we have. Because we're moving away from having a constitutional republic to having a constitutional monarchy. When we have someone that believes he can only use a pen and a phone and he can do whatever he wishes, besides understanding the will of the people and the Congress, the legislative branch, not understanding what co-equal branches of government means, not understanding what Montesquieu wrote about in the spirit of the laws by us having a separation of powers. We have an executive branch. We have a judicial branch that is doing more legislating than the actual legislative branch. Then we are at a dangerous time and a dangerous situation for this great constitutional republic that we call home, these United States of America. What I want to do is maybe, Colin, you timekeeper.
You are good.
I'm good? I want to spend about 20, 25 minutes, and I want to talk to you, I think, about the most important cultural issue we have in this country right now. Because if we don't fix this cultural issue, it does not matter what we do in this country as far as voting. We will lose this great nation. And then I'd like to hear your questions, you know, afterwards. Something very important happened in Pittsburgh this week that really and truthfully defines the cultural issue, the cultural problem that we have in the United States of America. When James Harrison took those 2 participation trophies of his kids and he gave them back, ladies and gentlemen, that is just not about those kids of James Harrison. That is about the country that we call the United States of America. Because if we do not define and understand who the other side is and what they are seeking to do with the United States of America, how many here have ever read Sun Tzu's Art of War? Okay? Everyone needs to read that book. Because if we do not study, if we do not understand strategic level thinking, as Sun Tzu said, to know yourself, to know the enemy, to know the environment, in every single battle you will always be successful. But if you know yourself and know not the enemy, for every battle that you are victorious, you will also lose a battle. And that is where we are here in the United States of America. We are constitutional conservatives. We're really the classical liberals. We understand who we are and what we stand for. We don't do a real good job of communicating it to what I call the Waffle House crisis. But the more important thing that we need to be able to do is to define who the enemy is. Because what James Harrison did this week defined who the other side was. And I want to talk to you tonight about the fallacy of the participation trophy. Because my mother, deceased in 1994, Elizabeth Snooks West, taught me a very simple maxim that I carry with me wherever I go and I try to share with people wherever I speak. She said, self-esteem only comes from doing esteemable things. Now, when we have a culture where all of a sudden the plastic participation trophy becomes the means of the definition by which people believe that they're going to get self-esteem, whereby people believe that they're going to get their dignity, whereby people believe that they're going to have value, then we have gotten off track. We have moved away from Thomas Jefferson when he talked about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness to people that believe that they can guarantee your happiness. And that's the fallacy of the participation trophy. See, to understand the other side, we have to understand their 5 critical principles. See, their first principle, when you hear them talk about redistribution of wealth, that's the whole essence of the participation trophy. because someone has to pay for that plastic trophy that they're going to give to someone else. And so the people that are out there, the people that are on the field, the people that are working hard, the people that are showing up early, staying late for practice, see, what your efforts is not regarded. They don't believe in that. They think that that sweat equity that you're putting in is just the same as the sweat equity that's coming from the people sitting on the sideline drinking up all the dadgum Gatorade. And so what they have to do is take from you to give to those so that they can have the participation trophy. When you understand the story of James Harrison, who was a walk-on, who played in the NFL Europe and fought to get over here to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, he understands what it means to be on that field. He understands what it means to go out and work hard. You all out here, sitting in this audience, who are leaders in the business world, who are leaders in the private sector, you understand what it means to wake up every day and put your equity into something. You understand what it means to build something. But when you have the sense of a person that is now the President of the United States of America, who said in Roanoke, Virginia in 2012, if you own a business, you didn't build that. See, if you're on the football field, if you're on the basketball court, if you're at the baseball diamond and you're the one out there playing hard, you didn't earn that. Because now we're going to take from you and we're going to make sure that everyone gets the participation trophy. See, that's the cultural thing that we have to say to people. And when James Harrison stood up and sent those trophies back, that is an opportunity for us to say that the Democrat Party is the party of the participation trophy. And see, when you're making those plastic trophies, you got to nationalize production because you have to be able to produce those trophies. When you think about what is happening now with the EPA and this climate change plan that the President has, this is nothing but cap and trade being done by the executive order. When you look at the Patient Protection of Affordable Care Act, they would call Obamacare, this is just government coming in and saying that we're going to nationalize this production. When you look at what has happened with Barney Frank and the Dodd-Frank and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and everything, once again, they're getting into the financial industries. The small community banker, the lifeblood to our small business owner, who is getting crushed now. Because if you want to play in their playing field, they'll be the ones to give you the participation trophy. And so therefore they bring everything under them because they are the only ones that can guarantee you happiness. When the President stands up in the State of the Union address and says that I will be the one that will give you free community college. I will be the one that will absolve your college student loans and debt. See, that's how we get to this point. See, it started a long time ago when we didn't keep score in Little League games and we started handing out these trophies. Now that mentality has crept into our entire society and it is affecting people to the point where they don't believe that it is worth getting up and getting into the game and playing on the field. That the government can sit back and give them a participation trophy, all on the backs of the people that are out there playing. And when you have this mentality of wealth redistribution, when you have this mentality of nationalizing production, then the third thing that they do is they create and they expand and they grow the welfare state. I want you to think about in the past 6.5 years, how many more Americans are in poverty? How many more Americans are on food stamps? We are in the 50th year of Lyndon Baines Johnson's Great Society program, the War on Poverty. Let me tell you how this participation trophy has worked so badly in the inner cities. 50 years ago, the percentage of two-parent households in the black community was 77%. Today it's 25%. Only 25% of black children have mothers and fathers in the home. When I was growing up, born in 1961, inner city Atlanta, Georgia, same neighborhood as Dr. King, if you saw a kid that didn't have mommy and daddy in the home, that was the rarity. But see, Lyndon Johnson created this participation trophy. Lyndon Johnson said that if you're a woman that has a child out of wedlock, as long as you never allow a man into the home, if you continue to have children out of wedlock, the government will continue to give you a participation trophy in the form of a check from the government. and look at what has happened to the inner cities all across the United States of America. That's what happens when the party of the participation trophy goes out and tells this lie, and people actually believe, and they put that plastic trophy up there. They no longer want to get out and earn the real trophy. They sit back and wait for the guarantee. And as long as that continues to happen, then the message of social utopianism comes out. Economic fairness, economic patriotism, fair share. You look and see that we're going to celebrate 2 female officers graduating the Army Ranger School. That's fine. But you know what? 40,000 soldiers are about to be cut from the United States Army. I'm not so concerned about 2 folks that just graduated Ranger School. I'm concerned about this social egalitarian belief that everyone should be able to participate and get a trophy. Everyone should be able to get a Ranger tab. And now to the point where the Navy just came out and announced yesterday that they're going to have females going through Navy SEAL training. Why? Because everyone should be able to participate. Because the plastic trophy is going to make you feel better about who you are. But we miss out on the long-range plan for this great nation. And it's built upon individual industrialism, individual entrepreneurship. And it's not about sitting around waiting for someone to give you something. It was so sad when the Chief Justice, not the Chief Justice, but when Justice Kennedy wrote in his decision on the same-sex marriage case that it was the government's responsibility to ensure the dignity of the individual. That's what happens when even in the Supreme Court they believe that they can give you a participation trophy. Then a long-standing tradition of marriage between a man and a woman means nothing. To the point where now, mommy and daddy, husband and wife, is now being replaced by spouse 1 and spouse 2. Because everyone should get a participation trophy. And the most important aspect that we must come to understand about this fallacy, about this party of the participation trophy, is that all of a sudden, when they begin to be the ones that give you this plastic trophy that you'll put up on your mantle, that's what you will end up worshiping. See, your inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, they don't come from man. It's not a piece of plastic. Thomas Jefferson wrote that it comes from your Creator. But in the secular humanist mindset of the liberal progressive socialist left, if they remove God from the equation, God with the big G is then replaced by government with the little g. And when government with the little g steps up, government with the little g tries to guarantee your happiness by providing you a plastic participation trophy, which you will put up on a mantle, and that is what you will end up worshiping. If we do not take the message out into this great country to let people know that the government cannot provide you a plastic participation trophy for your own self-esteem, the government will eventually fail you, and that plastic trophy will eventually just fall apart. And if you drop it, it's not even worth it. What we have to do is understand that in 2012, ladies and gentlemen, Barack Obama won 27% of the counties in the United States of America. 27% in the counties in the United States of America yielded him almost 330 electoral college votes. You only need 270 electoral college votes to win. And if you go to these 27% of the counties, you'll see that these are the places where they're handing out participation trophies. If we don't take our message of individualism as opposed to the collectivism, if we don't take our message of an equality of opportunity, as I said last year, no matter where you are born, no matter where you come from, in these great United States of America, even a kid from the inner city of Atlanta, Georgia, can stand up at Oakmont Country Club for 2 straight years and give a speech. Government telling me, here's your participation trophy. That came from me understanding through my parents that I live in the greatest nation that the world has ever known. And the greatest trophy that I can have is the trophy of passing on a better United States of America to my children and grandchildren. That's truly your legacy. That is truly the trophy. It's just the same as that great epithet at Thermopylae over in Greece, where it says, "Go tell the Spartans and strangers passing by that here, obedient to their laws, we lie." It's worth the fight. It's worth the sacrifice. If you don't believe it is, then I'm sure Phyllis Schlafly does not want you on her team. But if we are not able to articulate and clearly delineate the difference between who we are and what has built this great nation in 239 years, and the means by which they seek to enslave the individual, not empower them, because that's what you do when you give people a plastic trophy. You really do enslave them, and you give them false hope. And that's the fallacy of the participation trophy. Ladies and gentlemen, James Harrison, simple Pittsburgh Steelers linebacker, gave us a message that we should use and take it all the way to next year in Cleveland, Ohio. And we are not the party of the plastic participation trophy. We are the party of the greatest trophy that the world has ever known. The trophy of the title that you all carry with you no matter where you go, and even after you die. America. God bless you all, and thank you.